Hi, my name is Christina Grantham, and today I am presenting on our Case 4 assignment entitled the SLOs, the 4 SLOs that are given to us to ensure effective communication. So effective communication can be broken up into both components and principles. There are 3 principles as shown to us in our first module, which was logical, emotional, and ethical appeals. In researching, I also learned that we have 7 principles in forms of C's that will assist us or guide us through effective communication. Those are clarity, correctness, completeness, conciseness, concreteness, coherence, and courtesy. While this may seem to be a lot, this also helps us make sure that we have efficient communication and ensuring that our target audience, understands what we're saying during our speeches, as well as can be used in the workplace to better our workplace relationships. With keeping these in mind, we also want to be cognizant of the place that we're presenting, meaning the location, whether it's in-house in a closed setting or it's in an open-air arena. We should always be mindful of both of our audience and our venue. We should make sure that our speech is conducive to the audience and they're able to hear what we're saying. So if it's in an open air, you cannot predict the volume or the noise pollution that you may encounter, but you should always make sure that your voice, it travels, and that your speech, you enunciate your words to where the audience can understand you and they're not questioning what you're hearing. You don't want to do anything that will lose your audience. You would like to incorporate nonverbal communication during your presentation to ensure that you keep the audience's attention. This is also one you should also consider when presenting, that you don't do anything to suggest to your presenters that you yourself was bored with the presentation. Be mindful of your body language, your facial expressions, and be mindful of your audience facial expressions when you're presenting, and as well in general conversation. If a person is yawning, if they're rolling their eyes, they're having lack of making contact, or you yourself is making lack of contact in a conversation or during a lecture, that can be given as a negative form of communication. Nodding your head. You are using soft body language. You are communicating with them with your eyes to let them know that you are, one, as a presenter, you are engaging with them, or 2, as a person in the audience or on the other end of the conversation is listening and you're being attentive. Tapping your feet on either end makes a person feel like you're bored or you're wanting them to hurry up and get done with their presentation or with their conversation. So we should always be mindful of things that we may do subconsciously as being considered rude or disrespectful. When we're presenting, it's good and helpful to have a PowerPoint presentation and make sure that our PowerPoint is closely related to our presentation. It should be complementary in graphs or pictures, and we should always be considerate of the audience and making sure that it's not too loud, it's not too colorful, it's not too small or too large. We should be mindful and make sure that our presentation doesn't have highlights that with letters that a person can't see, or coloring that doesn't complement the highlights. We should make sure that we don't cram too much on the particular slide. And our last lesson told us to make sure that we have 7 bullets with 7 words per bullet. And we should make sure that we avoid the void, meaning make sure that we don't leave too much space on the presentation, as well as we don't want to cram it too much where it becomes too busy and it makes a person not want to view it. These things, if we apply them right, the SLOs that has been given to us throughout this particular class, it will be essential and effective for our communication, whether it's nonverbal or verbal. It will help us, I believe it will help us with the way we work, not only for this class, but moving forward in whatever our career goals are. We want to, above all, make sure that we have effective communication. Thank you for taking the time to view this. Have a wonderful day.